Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coco McMillan Show. You may have seen her in Morocco, New York City, Los Angeles, California, Detroit, Philadelphia, Chicago, Las Vegas, Nevada. One of the background singers for Mickey Howard and the late, great Gerald Levert. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, the beautiful, the wonderful, the spectacular, Miss Coco McMillan.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to the Coco McMillan Show, where we make it happen. I am so excited to be with you this evening. I pray that you have had a wonderful day. This is the Coco McMillan Show, where we bring some exciting flavor to the talk show circuit here, featuring our national and our local recording artists, our business owners, musicians, just everybody that wants to kind of promote their business. We are here to help you. This platform is designed for you, for mental health awareness, organizations, social media gurus. We allow the guests the opportunity to come on the show and talk about their career, their goals, their product, career challenges, new opportunities, awareness. And so tonight we have a powerful young lady that's going to be with us tonight, talking about, doing coaching, your mindset, just self-love, self-care. And I think we all need that right now. I think everybody is kind of going through something. So she is here to help us tonight. So for the others, we want you to bring your experience and your knowledge to the show, because we believe in promoting your journey in life. I say this every week: millions of souls can be blessed just by your testimony. So we want you to come to be a part of this show. You can reach me at Coco McMillan Music at gmail.com or any of the social media platforms. I am here for you, and we will make it happen. We're streaming here live here on the IBM network. We're streaming on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that good stuff. If you have your Roku TV there, you can download. It's free, by the way. Let me say that, okay? It's free. You go to Add Channel and download Pod TV Live, and you can watch it right there in the presence of your home on your big screen TV. So there's plenty of ways that you can watch us. You can even go back and see some of our previous shows where we've had some amazing guests on here, from Shirley Murdoch to Shirley Caesar, to Kim Person, to Marshetta Parker, to 103.9, Melissa Wade. It's just so many people that's been on here. Kiki shared. So listen, if you want to be a part of that brand, you can come on and be on the show as well. So listen, if you are out there and you watching tonight, please let me know where you watching from. We have Brooklyn, New York in the house tonight, Miss Monique Cabrera. So listen, all my New York family, come on and just go ahead and log in. Let somebody know. Go ahead and text them, ping them, whatever you got to do. Let them know that you're going to spend the next hour with your girl, Coco and Monique. I see Monique Taylor on here from St. Paul's, North Carolina. Thank you so much. Pastor Jean Johnson is on from New Jersey. She is the pastor of Greater Rosa Sharon Church in Brooklyn, New York there. So shout out to Greater Rosa Sharon. Anybody else? Go ahead. Let me. Tara Lynn. Tara Lynn is on tonight. An amazing singer, 3-time Apollo winner, all that good stuff. Basketball player. The girl probably averaged a 4.0 grade average in school. She's at Faber State now. So she's doing some amazing things. And this is what this show is all about: just supporting people, just being there for each other. And as Sister Monique come on here tonight and talk to us about self-love, self-care, and loving yourself. She's just an amazing woman. I had a chance to kind of talk to her a little bit backstage. And you know how you could just feel somebody's spirit, even through the internet virtually. That's that feeling I got with her. And I think that she's going to help a lot of us out tonight. And man, if you're out there watching, you too, you are included in this. But go ahead. I'm trying to give you time so you don't miss anything, to get your notebook, start writing down these things, and just kind of listen to her testimony, her story, and how she got to where she is today. It's Monique Cabrera. She is a native of Brooklyn, New York. She is the CEO of House of Self. Love the name, by the way, Monique. House of Self. She focused on self-love and mindset coaching. And she focused on helping the millennium women rewrite their story through healing and growth. And again, I think that's so needed right now. I heard Terrellyn sing Sunday. She was singing Better Days by Leandra, and her testimony was just so amazing. And she was just crying out saying, there will be better days, there will be better days. And I'm speaking to someone tonight to let you know there will be better days. So go ahead and get your tissues and all that stuff together. Let your girlfriend know just to hold tight for a minute, that you're going to spend this next hour with me and Monique, and she's going to help us get through some of these things that we've been going through, and how to manage it, how to deal with it. Okay. So, but listen, before she comes on, I want Mark to just put up this little quote here. I was reading some of her some of her quotes that I love that she's doing. One thing she says it's not about being perfect. All right, it's not about being perfect, and it's not about effort, and it's when you implement the effort into your lifestyle every day, every single day. That's where the transformation happens. I love that. That's how the change occurs. Keep going. Remember why you started what you started. I love that when she said that. And there's so many good quotes that I saw that she wrote. One of them was, trust in God with all thy heart. Just things that we need every day. So I really appreciate that she goes out and she posts these things. Another one is, it's not just about elevating, it's about letting go of what used to be. That's deep right there. Okay. One of my favorites is, it's okay not to be okay. Okay, it's okay. It's okay not to be okay. So we're going to go ahead and bring her on. Um, Brooklyn, New York is in the house. Please help me welcome my sister, Monique.
Thank you, Coco. Thank you. Got me back here crying, girl. You got me back here.
I'm just saying, like, I don't even know I don't even know where to start it. I don't even know where to start. But as I was saying to you, when you came on, I was just telling the producer, I was like, oh my God, I need a clone. And then you pop so hard. It's like right at the time.
Right on time. Right
Right on
on
time,
time.
because so many people are going through so many things. But before we get into that, let's just talk about a little bit about you growing up in the city, and then you get into where you are now. Just to tell the viewers a little bit about you, Monique.
Okay, so it's crazy because as you was talking, my life is literally a testimony into how I got to becoming a coach. But I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. I am the oldest daughter, and then there's 4 boys. So you can only imagine what that household was like.
Wow.
Um, yeah, it was a little rough around the edges. But I always say my story started from before I was even born. My mom, my mother, her and I had a very strange relationship. So from birth, and she was absent for
Oh,
most of my life.
okay.
But from birth, it was just like God always had his hand on me to make sure I was covered. And I always say that when I look back now, he strategically put these puzzle pieces together to lead to where we are. Because from day
Yeah.
one, it was a struggle. Birth mom was absent. My birth dad was absent. So abandonment was just a part of my entire childhood. And, we pushed through. My mom left me with my father, because you can't tell me different. But it's also my dad's brother, my dad's brother, my brother's dad.
Mhm.
So we grew up with my dad and my grandmothers, and it was a struggle. I always say, like, growing up with abandonment issues and then an emotionally unavailable dad kind of rang me through the ringer. And it's
Yeah.
things that I'm realizing at 40 that affected me my whole life, and I had no idea. Here nor there, my goal was, because I grew up in that type of environment, my goal was to always be better than my parents and always strive to make sure I don't have to live in those same conditions. And I surpassed that a long time ago, but
Yeah.
also didn't realize I had to give myself the grace to celebrate that
Yeah.
and kind of come out of survival mode, because we grew up in survival mode.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
streets of New York alone is, I always say I grew up in the trenches. Like, if you saw The Wire, I grew up in that version of it in East New York. And it's literally like, I was telling stories this weekend of just the craziness that we had to endure as kids, which was not normal.
Yeah.
Um, but here nor there, I went to school. I, finished school, had a really good job, all the things on paper that look good. I
Yeah.
no kids, single, best life, everything that was going on was going on.
Yeah.
Um, Except I was empty inside.
Ooh.
Didn't know why, and not only did not know why, I wasn't ready to do the work to even figure out why I was empty inside. Because on paper, I was living my best life. Okay, I'm on the plane every other month. I'm at every party. I'm hanging out with the girls. We're having a great time. Life is good. So what is wrong with me that I still don't feel fulfilled? And why do I feel empty?
Yeah.
Didn't want to deal with it. Chalked it up and just put it to the side. Fast forward to, or rewind, I should say, to 2019.
Okay.
And this is how crazy God works. December of 2019, I at my lowest in life. Now I done been through some things. I lost my mother. She ended up passing away. I lost both of my grandmothers. So I done endured a lot.
Yeah.
Nothing like what I was feeling in 2019, and could not put my finger on it. One night I just was scrolling through and was searching for I forget exactly what I searched, but it was some kind of like, I think like a soul retreat or something I was looking for. Found this soul retreat in Arizona, booked a flight, called my best friend and said, I never forget, it was December 29th. I said, New Year's Day, I am flying to Sedona. And she's like, for what? And I'm telling her, I found this soul retreat. I have to go. Things are dark. I feel empty. I'm not happy. And everyone is so confused because when they look at my life, it's like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, you're successful. And they run down this checklist.
Right.
Like, still, I went, and on the way there, I was like, girl, maybe you are crazy. Maybe you are a little bit crazy, because where are you going? But it was the beginning of my healing. So I went into this whole weekend of like soul retreat. It was called Sedona Soul Retreat. And it was about doing the inner work. And that's when I really got introduced to doing the inner work. And the changes and the revelations that I got just from that weekend kind of set the tone off for my healing. And then 2 months later, the world shut down, and it was the height of COVID.
Right.
There was no partying, and there was no traveling, and there was no being in the street.
Right.
So all that running I was doing, I couldn't do anymore.
Right.
So it was just me, myself, and I in this
Yeah.
house for however long. And it was, I mean, obviously, it was months.
Right.
And I noticed I was journaling a lot. Like I always say, journaling saved my life, because I couldn't, because, and as an 80s baby, and I feel like from 80s and further down, we didn't grow up in an environment where we were free to talk. Like these kids now can say whatever they want.
Right.
Like, we embrace it and let them feel the feels, but I didn't have that. There was no expressing yourself, and it was none of that. So everything was so suppressed. My journal was my only outlet. So and a lot of my blog stories that you reference all come from my journal entries.
Wow.
Again, and then I couldn't talk to people about it because everyone's questioning, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong? Right.
You live the best life. I want your life. And either here nor there. So I sat down and really did the inner work. And so that was 2020. And throughout, God was, the minute I committed to the inner work, because it is a choice. And that's what people don't seem to realize, that love is absolutely a choice. Loving yourself, loving your partner, loving your children, loving whoever, it's a choice that you have to get up intentionally every day and make. And once I learned that, that's when life really started changing. And that's when God decided to put his foot to the pedal and was just like full throttle. Throttle. And he did, like, he moved me out of New York and relocated me to Charlotte. And I remember being on my kitchen floor like, God, are you sure? My family's here, my friends here, everybody's here. He was like, no, pack it up, let's go, it's time to go. And you know what, moving to Charlotte was the bestest. And I have my two best friends live there, so I had some people there, but my life was in Brooklyn.
Right.
So he moved me with just enough people, but not to the point that I'm gonna be distracted. And from so I moved 2020 to up until I want to say mid 2024 was an isolation season for me. He was putting me through the ringer. I mean, at that point, those 4 years was really about building my, or at least I thought, was really about building my relationship with him. But
Mhm.
through that is where he revealed so many things about myself, about the people that I thought were, in my tight circle, about the places I thought I should have been. I mean, he, God has a sense of humor.
He does.
He has a sense of
He
humor.
does.
He put me through the test. I mean, I don't walk through fire, it felt like. He really put me through some things. And then late last year, he switched my life up again. And I always call it like the butterfly effect, where it's like,
Yeah.
you go through that cocoon, that transformation process, and then it's like, okay, you got your wings, it's time to fly.
It's time to fly.
And right before I got to that point is when he called me to be a coach. And I was like, oh no, I can't. Ain't no way you called me to be a coach. I fought
What
it.
I
I
did
fought it. I
through.
fought it. Not me. I fought it
Right.
so much. And then I sat down one day with my therapist and I was telling her, she goes, didn't you tell me that throughout your entire life, everybody comes to you and they always tell you to write a book and to be a coach? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, now God is telling you. So are you going to tell him no too? And when I sat with that, I was like, oh my gosh, she's right. And just reflecting back on life, looking over all the things I've been through and all the different roles I played, he literally was setting up the steps for that very moment. So
Wow.
I stopped fighting him because I'm never going to win.
Right, right.
I gave in. And I just let him, down to the name of the coaching, the house itself, I just let him take it and give it to me all. Because when I tried my way, it never worked.
Right.
It never, ever
Oh
worked.
my God.
It never worked. And even within that, it was just like that built my strength with him because I had to allow him to lead.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to do that because I know better. It's my life. I know what to do and I know what I want and I know other things. So
Right.
I would always fight it. And to the point that he was like, I'm giving this to you, but I'm not giving it to you for you to control. I'm giving it to you for you to be obedient and do what I called you to do with it. So he
Right.
literally took my pain and turned it into purpose. Sounds
Wow.
so cliche when I say it, but
But
that's what he
I know, but I get it. I get it. I get it. You
that's
know?
what he did. That's
Yeah.
what he did. And the house itself is built. I always say it was built on my back because it literally is through my experiences, through my journeys. Um, I'm learning lessons still to this day that are triggered from my childhood. And it amazes me every time because I just feel like, there's a time and place for everything, and God's not going to reveal
Right.
anything to you before it's time for you to handle it properly.
Properly.
Because,
Oh my God.
yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. We could break
That
down areas of it, but he literally built it off of all the things that I've experienced.
that's good right there. And you said so much. You said so much in your introduction. When you talk about when you was talking about how he built it on your back because of everything you experienced, and you talked about how people was like, well, what's wrong with you, you have a great life, and I say that all the time. People never know what you're really dealing with internally,
Mm-hmm.
yourself, because you can put on this mask and smile and go, but inside you're hurting. So when you posted that quote, it's okay to not to be okay. So how did when your friends was saying, well, what's wrong, and how did that even make you feel? Because did you even stop to think like, well, what is wrong with me? I mean, I do have a good life and blah blah blah, but how did you just keep moving forward and say, okay, I have to do something?
All the time I would ask the same thing. I don't know. I don't know what I feel. It's this feeling. It feels empty. I do have, and I that put me through a guilt trip though, because then I felt like I was being ungrateful for the life that I had.
Right,
So a
right,
lot
right.
of my journal entries was me saying sorry to God because I was like, I love my life and I'm grateful for it, but there's just something missing. And
Yeah.
that's what really made me dig deeper because looking at my life, there was no reason for me to feel the way I felt. And I couldn't connect it to anything. So it wasn't like I had a bad day. Like there was nothing specific to what I was feeling. And all honesty, I was just tired of feeling that way. I was
Mm,
like, that's what it came down to. And COVID kind of opened my eyes because I always said if I had more time, if I had this, if I had
Yep.
that, I would do, I would do, I would do. And I
Yeah.
was doing nothing. Okay. COVID, I was doing nothing.
Nothing.
And that sent me through another guilt trip because I was working a 9 to 5, which I still do. And at that point, I was working on building a woman empowerment group. See how God already had me in this, He already had me in this,
Right,
in
right,
this
right,
world.
right.
Um, in addition to that, I was working with my best friend at the time. We had a magazine company together, and the magazine was focused on entrepreneurs and giving them a spotlight where they can shine. So it was, I've always been in this position to lift people. So
Yeah.
I would also look at myself in that aspect and say, how are you doing? And this is in my heart to hearts why I feel like some of my endeavors prior to this did not succeed. It's because I always felt like I wasn't living a true life. Like
Mm.
I have this platform for people and I want to put you on and I want to celebrate you and I want to do other things, but I wasn't even doing it to myself.
For yourself. Yes. Yes.
And that for me was the biggest gap. So I had to figure out, how do I get from the life that I say I want
Yeah.
from where I'm at? And that took sitting, and that took me literally sitting and looking in the mirror.
Mm.
And when I did that, first of all, I didn't notice, but I wouldn't like look in the mirror. A
Yeah.
lot of, you look in the mirror, my hair's okay, my makeup is good.
Right, right, right.
But to really stand and look at yourself in the eyes in the mirror, and I felt it in my core, and I was like, okay, enough is enough. And I realized then that I didn't like looking in the mirror.
Mm.
And in addition to that, all the partying I was doing, I used to always say, now that I'm like, oh my God, I used to go to these parties. I used to go to these parties and I would always get, and this is just me being fully transparent, I
Yes.
used to get drunk all the time. I had a
Yeah.
great time.
Yeah.
Friends were watching me, no problem, drunk.
Right.
And I used to tell one of my girlfriends, I want to be who I am, drunk, sober. She was
That's
so
it.
free. She was so out, like that version of me was so free, outspoken, having a good time.
Yeah.
And the sober version of me was so reserved, as if I couldn't be myself when I was sober.
Mm.
That started to bother me. That's when God really
Mm.
was like, all right, we're going to start revealing some things. Because I was like, why is it only when I'm drunk
Right, right, right,
I
right,
could
right.
be this free person? Fast forward today, I don't even like liquor. Give me a glass of wine and maybe some champagne, and that's it. Um, but now I could be, because I did the work, now I could be that
Now
version
you
of myself who I was.
right.
And that's another thing that showed me you're running from something.
Yeah.
Now we got to figure out, what are you running
Where are
from?
you running from?
And again, that took me sitting down. That took a lot of ugly truths about myself,
Mm.
about the company I kept, about the things that I allowed. And once I worked through it, and I've never been embarrassed to share my story because I feel like it's just a part of who I am and I can't hide that. But
Right.
I wasn't always as receptive to acknowledging my role in everything. It's
Okay.
easy to say, I grew up with no mom, my dad was absent, this and this and this, and that's why I am
Right.
the
Right.
way I am.
Right.
But that
That
only
was the
lasts
case.
for so
Right.
long. At
Right.
some point, we grow up, you got to own your own, and you got to be able to. And that's and I always say, for me, self, the beginning of self love is when you start accepting yourself for who you are,
Mm.
regardless of the flaws, regardless of the life you lived.
Yeah.
A lot of it was out of our control, at least out of my control. So I just started to accept myself, all parts of myself.
Yeah.
And when I started doing that, I was able to receive the parts of me that I didn't like and
Yeah.
then work on it without regret and without beating myself up. And that's what self love really is giving yourself what you need, regardless, wherever you are. Wherever you are today, and now I'm moving us. And you know what? Talking to women my age and older, we were always taught how to love externally. You
Mm.
love your parents, you love your siblings, you love your family, you love, 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 love.
Yeah.
Give it, give
Right.
it,
Right.
give it. I don't ever recall anybody sitting me down talking about how I love myself and how I should treat myself and how to build up my confidence.
That's so true.
So self love also requires a lot of unlearning and relearning. I call it my self love toolbox. Going back into your toolbox and seeing what tools no longer serve you, getting rid of them,
Yeah.
and filling it up with new tools. And even that, the things that came from that, the things that came from that, um, like forgiveness came up
Yeah.
because you have to forgive those that may have had a part in the life you live.
To live. Yeah.
That was tough because that direct line went to my parents.
Mm.
So now
Mm.
love starts from your parents. So if you are born or grow up in an environment where the parents are absent and that's your first line of love, love for me was tainted from the very beginning.
Right. Right. Right.
It was tainted from the beginning. And then, and again, I'm thankful for my dad because I always say he didn't have to take me. Because he met my mom when she was pregnant with me already. And
Okay.
it was never,
Wow.
I'm taking her. And he fought my family for me because my family wanted me. And my dad said no. So I forever feel, like I always feel like I owe a part of my life to my dad because,
Yeah.
and my mom, like, and so my mom was heavy in the streets, drugs, prostitution, all the things, right? And
Mhm.
growing up, I was angry. I was young. No one, and again, no one talks about these things. So
Right.
I'm just navigating the facts that I know with
Right.
no support behind it because your mom is this, your mom is that, but no one's asking you, well, how does it affect you? How do you feel about it? So there
Right.
was my journal yet again. That's where I outpoured everything. And fast forward to when she was sick, I was forced to take care of her. Now, again, we did not have a relationship. We were like two selling people. I would see her at my grandmother's house on holidays or whenever I was there because I was still very involved with her family, just not her.
Right.
She got sick with cancer. It's kind of like I was forced as her only daughter and her, well, not her oldest kid's son, but her only daughter to now step into the role as her caregiver.
Wow.
So the emotions that I had behind that was I don't really like you. And I remember when I first started my walk with Christ, I had to pray, I can't honor thy mother and father. I
Yeah.
don't even like them. So God,
Mhm.
work on my heart because I don't
Yeah.
like them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then now I'm forced in this position to care for her. And I had to pray for God to humble me because there was a point that she said to me, if you're going to continue to treat me like this, just leave me here to die. So
Mm.
me and my high horse, I said, okay, and left the hospital. But
Oh.
the reality is when I got outside, I broke down because it was like, God, you know my heart and this is not.
Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
but then he started working on my heart to forgive her because the reality is she could have taken me down all those dark roads with her.
With her. That's right.
The drugs, the
Right.
alcohol, she could have did all of that.
Yeah.
And instead, she left me with my dad.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't realize that until she died. So all these years, and then again, no one's talking to me. No one's letting me.
Right. Right. Right.
So I held all that in, and all of that came up when I started my self-love journey because it was like I had to go back and unlearn all of that and realize that although she couldn't give me the love that I may have needed, she loved me in the best way she knew how to.
She knew how. Right.
There's no
Right.
rule book to this. No one's giving you instructions, and I had to apply that to forgiveness, apply that to forgiving myself too, because I blamed myself for a lot of
Yeah.
things that happened to me. So it's, I,
Mhm.
I always say healing is not pretty. It is
Yeah.
the ugliest, most beautiful journey you can ever go
Never-
on. At the end, it's all worth it. But oh
Wow.
my God, it's heavy. It is heavy.
Oh wow. It's this is good. I mean the chat. Cass, what's up, Cass? Minister Cooper. Everybody's just kind of talking in the chat because this is real, and this is what this show is about, Monique. We keep it 100 transparent because life is like I tell people,
Life is
yeah,
life.
life is life. We life it, and you're so correct. Like I'm a '70s baby, And so, if they didn't talk about it in the 80s, they definitely didn't talk
Yep.
about it in the 70s.
Exactly.
Keep your mouth closed. Don't talk about nothing.
Yep.
Even the therapy, therapy, people really didn't think
Mhm.
that we should be going to therapy. And a
Mhm.
lot of things you couldn't talk about. And one thing that you said is a lot of things that you go through now, it kind of started from your childhood,
Yeah.
something that you did not deal with. And I know that there's someone on here tonight probably dealing with this same thing. How do and I know you guys heard Monique, how she just kind of walked us through the journey, even with her parents and everything. We have to deal with this.
You
We
can't
have
heal what you don't feel.
to,
You can't heal what you don't feel. You got to feel your feels, and I always, and it hurts because you think subconsciously you put it to the back of your mind. You don't have to deal with it. It's been years. It haunts you.
it
You have to
haunts you.
feel it to heal it.
Oh my God. That's good. That's good. You have to deal with it because otherwise you're going to be going through the rest of your life. It's like a circle. You just, the
Yeah.
same thing and trying to feel, why am I feeling this way? Something is missing. And one thing I love that you said is about forgiveness. Forgiveness is so important. You can't grow and
Absolutely.
get to your next step without forgiving. You can't hold that stuff in. And God is the main source of everything. Had you
Hmm.
not heed to God and went the other way, we probably wouldn't even be talking.
Absolutely. Because I was going down. I was in the streets. Okay. I was in the streets. I was in the streets. I was outside. And I'm even that, like, I thank God for the discernment to be able to hear him. Because you're right, I wouldn't have been here. Lord knows where I would have been. You're on mute.
Guys, I'm sorry. If you don't have a journal, get a journal. Start
Get a
writing it
journal.
down because a lot of times we write stuff down and we go back a couple of weeks later, we're like, oh, I didn't even know I said that.
Yep.
I dealt with that now. Okay, I'm away from this part now. I moved up. I've grown from
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Another thing
Absolutely.
you said, Monique,
Absolutely.
you said go in that toolbox, get rid of some of the stuff that you don't tools that you don't need, and replace them with new tools.
Absolutely.
You can't hold on to old baggage and old stuff. That's just like me trying to
It's
fit
weighing you
into the shirt
down.
I know I can't wear.
Hmm.
You have to let it go. So with your you're the CEO of House of Self. How do people, do you have a women that you talk to? I know you were saying that you want, you help the millennium try to, help themselves, but do you have a group that you talk to daily, or how do you talk to these women?
So I always, again, this is God. I create a safe space for women, and that started back from work.
Yeah,
Nothing of even just at work. I realized with my team, I always create a safe space. So with the house itself, it's no different. In fact, that's the first thing I always want everybody to know coming into the house itself is that this is a safe space. There is no judgment. I want all the masks off, and I want you to come as you are. So if that's sad, depressed, what, I don't care. Just
yeah,
come as that person. And then we do have communities. So I created a group chat where you can just kind of chime in. And some people just simply go in, today is not a good day. I'm feeling X, Y, and Z. And then they get the love of all the other women in the chat just loving on them. So it's not like I'm the only one pouring into them. But
yeah,
because the space is so safe and it's based on self love, that's exactly what they get from each other. And to me, honestly, that's my favorite part
yeah,
is to see everyone just give each other that love. Because like you said, life is lifing. And
yeah,
some days you don't even need a reason to wake up and just not feel it.
right,
And a simple you got this, or we're praying for you, goes a long way when someone's down and out.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
that's it's based on community for me. Like that's solely what um my focus is to build a community. So even after the coaching, because I offer one-on-one coaching, group coaching, but even after the coaching, I want the community to be there forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Each one teach one. I,
Absolutely.
I love that. And when you said when I read one of the quotes when he says it's okay not to be okay, that was one of the things I was dealing with for a long time when I knew I wasn't okay, but
Hmm.
I felt like because of the entertainment or the status or people how people perceive you, you have
Yep.
to hold this image. Well, oh, girl, I'm fine, I'm good, good. So one day, once somebody asked me, "You okay?" No, I'm not okay.
No, I'm not.
They didn't know how to act. They didn't
Hmm.
know how to respond to me
Yeah.
saying that. So I think it's in. Well, you tell me. You tell me, Monique. How do you deal with that? You like when you tell them that you're not okay. How do you deal with they don't know how to respond? I mean, what do you do next if they can't help you?
And most people don't, because we're so conditioned. Hey, how you doing? I'm good. That's the answer automatic. So most people are not honest to say, no, I'm not. And I thank God that I have such a strong support system that I know who to go to.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, we're not meant to go through things in isolation. And God has He's weeded out so many people in my life that the circle I have now is my core. So I can go to any one of them and they always, without me even having to ask sometimes, know how to pour into me. Now,
Wow.
there are occasions where some don't know because everyone is not, and that's okay too.
Right.
That's okay
Right.
too. I am very big on meeting people where they are, and nor do I expect everyone to always be able to pour, right?
Yeah.
And that's something, and I always take that back to capacity. I now, before I used to just pick up a phone and call somebody to vent without even thinking about what they may have already going on.
Yeah.
So now I simply ask, do you have the capacity? I need to vent. Do you have the capacity? I have this going on and just want to know, can I borrow your ear for a sec? Can I cry?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Um,
That's
which
good. That's good.
if you're if you want someone to pour into you, you need to know that they have something to even pour. You
Or
can't pour from an empty cup. That is a true statement. So
yeah.
that if I'm calling you to vent and you're in a space, that space is what's going to be poured into me. And that may not be your best, but because you don't have anything else to give.
You're right.
And then I take that, and now Coco had a bad day, so she gave me bad advice, or she gave me a negative. Now that's on me, and
Now
I'm gonna
that's
work
it.
in that space.
Right. Right.
When
Right.
you had a bad day, you didn't have it to pour into me. I didn't even check to see if you had the space to talk to me. But it affects so much. And when I started noticing that, is when I was like, oh, okay, I need to move differently with people, and not
Yeah.
always expect someone to always be in a space. Even with myself, I'm not always. I'm a life coach. I mean, a life coach. I'm a coach, but that doesn't mean every day I want to coach.
Right.
And
Right.
that's just me being, open and honest.
Right.
So even in those spaces, if I know I have a job to show up for people in the best capacity for them and their transformation.
Yeah.
So if that means, hey, today's not a good day, can we reschedule? I'm gonna do that. I don't care what. It's not about the money, the time. I'm gonna do that
Right.
before I get on this call with my attitude and anything else and try to help you be the best. Like that's just not. That's selfish.
Right. Right.
Um. So to answer that, I just meet people where they are and I give them
Yeah.
the option to see if they have the capacity to even pour into me when I'm having those moments.
Wow. That's good. So when Monique, where do you see? I just look. I'm sitting up here like we just talking on the phone. I forgot we're live, but because I'm loving what you're saying. Um,
You
you
can't
can't.
let everyone pour into you. I'm reading the
That's
comments. You
right. That's
absolutely
right.
cannot.
You can't.
Absolutely cannot.
Right. No, you can't. And you have to have
You
that
have to
discernment.
know.
Yeah,
Hmm.
discernment. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? I mean,
I want the house itself to be a household name. Like I want that to be I want to be on stages pouring into women, letting them know that they have to put themselves first. I want to write books. I want to um, host events. Like I just want to pour into so many women because I feel like a lot of us are walking around carrying baggage that it's time to let go of and not realizing that that's stopping you from really living your best life. As
Yeah.
cliche as this best life sounds,
But
we
it's true.
absolutely can, and we are the author. We can rewrite the story. We can put a period where you thought it was and keep moving with a new chapter.
Yeah.
And it's never too late. And that's the message that I want to get out. So whatever platform I can get on to spread that word
Yeah.
is what I want to do. But yeah, so I want to write books. I want to host retreats. I want to be on panels and open discussions about this. Um, my
Mhm.
goal is to just get in front of as many women as possible to let them know it's not over.
It's
You can
not.
still live your best life. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I love it. I love it. I hope someone's on here tonight. I really do pray that you are inspired, because this is real. I mean, this is nothing that Monique made up. This is her life
Yeah,
story, and that's why I love reading her quotes, because she said, "Let me tell you how I had learned how to self love." Transformation from her childhood, the trauma, to where she is now. And the most important thing is that she listened to God, to what He say do, and
absolutely.
she did it. When we got to deal with ourselves, we don't like dealing with ourselves because we know we're wrong, but we don't want to be told. We don't
Yep.
want to be told we're wrong, and we don't want to deal with it. But
Yep.
when you start facing it every day and knowing that if you want to get better, you got to treat the wound.
Absolutely. And it's not about, and it goes back to one of the quotes it's the effort you put in every single day.
Hey,
Even when you fall, 'cause up until right before this, we got on here, self doubt kicked in, and I was like, I don't know, I can't do it. And it's like, no, like you have to show up in
yeah,
whatever capacity you can and
yeah,
still push through. And we're gonna backslide. We're humans. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna all of that self doubt and all the things are gonna pop up.
right.
But it's literally about how you tackle it and how you approach it, and how you push through.
Yes, I love it. Raven Robertson, thank you for saying it, Monique. She said, I got somebody
She's the
for you.
best.
I said,
She is the best.
she is the best. I mean, she really, and when I talk about each one, teach one, and, getting to know people, I've never met her physically, but I feel like she's my sister. Like, she brings some amazing guests on the show, and just the message is people hearing your story, because we want
Absolutely.
to inspire other people and let other people know you can do it. Whatever God has put into your life, whatever your dream is, whatever it is, don't give up, because it can be done. A lot of times it doesn't happen because we quit.
Absolutely.
Self doubt. We feel like we can't do it, or we don't have the money, we don't have this. But he says, if you make one step, he'll make two. So we just
Absolutely.
have to, push through it. So Monique, I am so grateful, and I know our viewers
Thank
on
you.
here tonight as well. So just tell us, we have your information running at the bottom of the screen here, but can you tell them if you have more contact information that you can give?
Yeah, you can contact me on my website, which is thehouseofself.com, and there's my phone number. Literally, my phone number is on there. If you want to text me, you can do that. I'm on Instagram at the House of Self, and then same as Facebook, Instagram, and website. Yeah, that's where you can find
That,
me.
listen, I want to say something real quick. You know she's real if she's giving you her telephone number, okay? Because we don't give out no telephone
My
numbers. So
friends are like, "Are you sure about this?" And I was like, "People may need you on the spot. You just never know."
right, right. I love that about you. And I said earlier, I love your spirit, because I think this is great to help us,
Thank
find
you.
ourselves and love ourselves, because sometimes we just I don't know what happens, the distractions, the not dealing with things, and but this was good tonight, just to remind us that we're queens. You said that in your
Absolutely.
quote.
Absolutely, we are, and something you just said, it's to get back to who we are at our core. Life happens and life changes who we think we are.
Yeah.
And our past does not define who we are, our choices are. So we need to get back to who we are at our core. And through loving yourself,
Yeah.
that's how
That's
you get there.
that's how we get there. That's number one. That's number
Absolutely.
one.
Self love is not selfish. I don't care what nobody says.
It's not.
It's not.
It's really, why do we think that?
Because we weren't taught to love ourselves first. We was taught to love others first. So it's selfish if you put somebody else, if you put yourself first, what about them? What people fail to realize is the more you love yourself, the more you have to give. You show up better in relationships.
Yeah.
You show up better. I also just started in the corporate world tying in self-love to a business strategy,
Yeah.
because that if you feel good, just like they say, if you get dressed and look good, you feel good. If you love yourself and you feel good, that trickles down to everything: relationships, money, business. You'll
Yep.
be surprised at how
Yeah.
many things are tied to your self-love.
Yes. Oh my God,
You'll
you
be
said
surprised.
it. Yes. Everything. I mean,
Everything. It's the
everything.
foundation. It's the foundation.
Wow. Thank you, Mark. Mark said guys and girls needed that for sure today.
Absolutely.
Yes, guys, you're queen, you're kings, guys. You're kings. Be the king, be the king. We're the queens. But we
Absolutely.
all we all need that. So I'm so grateful for you, Monique,
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
coming on to just sharing this information with us. Any final words that you would like to say to our audience?
It's okay to not be okay.
Love that.
And starting with that alone, that's you accepting where you are and choose you over and over and over again.
Oh,
You have to choose you.
I gotta write that one down. Choose.
And I hope to see some of you in the house. I like to talk about the house itself like it's actually a home, and I welcome you in my house.
Yeah, I
Um,
love that. I love it, and I know you said God gave you that idea. I mean, the name and everything. I love that
he
house of.
did. He did. And that was because it was to love all parts of yourself. I was trying to run from who I was when I needed to really just love who that version of me was. And once I figured that out, that's why there's multiple faces to my logo, because it's different versions of yourself.
Yeah.
Um, oh my God, there's so much. There's so much that I can. My name on Instagram, my personal name on Instagram is Mo Lovin, and that
Oh, love
I just
it.
tied in that, and I tried to run from that name too,
Yeah.
but Mo needed more loving,
Yeah.
and when he gave me that, I was like, all right, God, you're doing too much. You're
You know
doing
it's
too much. But it all just tied in. So where he's called me to be, and this is not. And he always told me to share my story because my story is for everyone else. It's not for me. So
yeah.
here we
Yeah.
are.
Mark says, "Can't run from your destiny." No,
You
we
can't.
can't.
You can't. I kept telling him no, and he kept telling me, "I'm not listening to you. I'm the boss. I'm the boss here." So here we are. I thank you so much, Coco, for this. I truly, truly enjoyed talking to you.
Same
Um,
here.
and all the guests tuned in.
Wow, and you right down. You mean I'm in Raleigh, Gary area, so you
Oh,
about
I'm in
3 hours
Charlotte. We
away.
must get together, girl. You
We
must get
have to. Yes, 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 yes. I would definitely connect with you. Again, thank you. I know we're gonna probably do a replay of this so we can get this out to the ladies and Mark the
yes.
gentleman as
And the
well
gentleman,
because
yes, yes,
every day it's about encouragement. You never know who needs this. I've had people
absolutely.
on here with mental health. Someone was about to kill themselves, and a word that someone spoke on here helped them, and that's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal. And a lot of times, as you said, we don't feel the best every day, but I'm grateful that I woke up. And, in the morning, I'm grateful that for the platform. So whenever I get a chance to share people's information, I want to do that. So again, thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank you,
Thank
Monique.
you. I have one more thing to add. It just came.
Absolutely.
Holy Spirit just put it on me.
Yes.
We need to get in the habit of asking ourselves, what do we need? When we're having a bad day, we're so used to what's causing it and pinpointing.
Yeah.
None of that matters. What do I need in this moment? And that doesn't look the same from day to day. When you start, and then you start pouring into yourself based on what you need and not what you think you need or anything else. So that's what I'm going to leave you with.
Oh, yes.
That is what I'm going to leave you with.
Thank you, Holy Ghost. Thank you, Holy Ghost. That was right for the end too. Not what we want, but what do we need? What do we need? I love that.
What do we need?
What do we need? God bless you. God bless you, Monique. Thank you so much. And listen, we're going to be connecting soon, all right?
Yes. Let's definitely do it.
Sisters for life. Sisters for life.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk soon. Thank you.
Okay, have a good one. Bye, guys.
Bye. Oh, man, wow. That was good. I truly hope that it blessed you tonight. That was some good information. She was real. She was transparent. She kind of told you her life story from the beginning to the end. And I love that she did that. So you can see that, life is life. Everything is not perfect. Everybody don't grow up in a perfect home. Everybody don't have a perfect life. But that doesn't stop them from striving for purpose. You understand? So she's here to help us, find self-love and, have our mindset and know that God is the author of all things, and whatever is designed for you, it is for you. And what you need, God got it. Okay. He's never too busy. All you have to do is just talk to him. Have that relationship with him. So what are you running from tonight? That's what I want to leave with you. What are you running from tonight? What have God spoken to you to do and you're running? Or what have he said for you to help someone else and you're running? Or what has he said to you to saying, okay, I need you to step back and let's start from the beginning, and he'll help you through your journey. So what is it that you need? What is it that you're running from? So I want you to go back and listen again to this broadcast and, take those notes if you missed anything, and just know that, God is working in your favor. Even when we're sleeping at night, whatever that we're dealing with, God already knows. He knows the plan he has for you. All he wants you to do is trust him. As I say every week, trust in God with all your heart. Lean not to thy own understanding, but in all thy ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. You have to trust the process. It's not easy. I know you don't want to deal with things. You don't want to deal with self. As she said, look into the mirror and look at self, because sometimes self can be stopping the blessings. Self can be holding you back. So let's deal with ourselves. I'm talking about us. Let's deal with ourselves and make things easier for you, and let God just do all that he needs to do through you. All right. That was for you. I hope that was for someone. So listen, we thank you so much for joining the show tonight. Tomorrow it's February the 28th. I will not say, but everybody already on here that's listening knows, what we have to do tomorrow on February the 28th. Let's represent. If you already went to the stores and got what you need to get, good. So I say no more. You know what to do. If you don't know, text me later and say, Coco, what are you talking about? And then I can tell you. But we want to see those numbers tomorrow. We're going to leave you tonight. Mark is going to play a video that's coming up. We have Captain Newborn that's putting on a show. He's bringing someone here they're going to be doing a tribute to Frankie Beverly that's coming up pretty soon. So he's going to show the video and give you some information about that. So all the Frankie Beverly people out there, you have a chance to still celebrate Mr. Beverly. I think the attire is going to be, as you know, with Frankie Beverly, all white. So make sure you show up in your white. Don't show up there with no red on. Frankie Beverly did not wear red. All right. It was just white. All right. So Mark is going to tell us about that. But until next week, you guys stay safe. I love you so much. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone out there for joining. Minister Cooper, if you're still on, thank you for your testimony last night. It was absolutely amazing and very, very needed on our Bibles, our Hour to Power call. So thank you so much for that. So until next week, until we meet again, be blessed. I love you guys. Take care and have a wonderful night. God loves you, and so do I. Be blessed.
Are you missing Frankie Beverly? Then come out and show your love. Saturday, May 10th, 6 p.m. Raleigh's Dorn Arena. The officially licensed Frankie Beverly Tribute World Tour comes to the Carolinas. Starring the We Are One Experience, the official World Tour tribute band honoring a musical legend, Frankie Beverly. It's an all-white affair, playing all the hits you love. Also starring the world's best go-go band. It's Big Tony and Trouble Phone. And the all-female go-go band powerhouse, Belladonna. Yes, it's a DC invasion coming to the Dorton Arena. Doors open at 4 p.m. Showtime starts at 6. Tickets are on sale now at Eventbrite.com. It's the world tour of the We Are One Experience Tribute Band, paying tribute to the one and only Frankie Beverly, plus Big Tony and Trouble Funk, and Belladonna. May 10th, 6 p.m. Raleigh's Dorton Arena. Be there.
Hey.